Welcome to another King Arthur Legends Rise video. Hope you guys are having an amazing start of the week, guys. In today's video, we're going to do a guide on the Shrine of Storms. This is the only dungeon that I haven't covered in a video just yet. I'm going to share with you guys 3 different teams that can tackle this beast on stage 10. Of course, we still have an event for this boss, the Raid Bounty Tarrasque right here, that will give you fairly juicy rewards, I would say. Definitely not too bad. And of course, if you manage to rank high, you're gonna get some better rewards, because from here you're gonna be able to purchase, with this currency, you're gonna be able to purchase summons for the relics, specific ones as well. So I'm gonna go straight for the Storm one in the hope that I'm gonna get the Storm relic for my Morgana. Now, before we dive into it, guys, I just want to give a massive shout out to all of you guys that chose to support my channel through the Supporter Creator Program. Massive shout out to all of you guys. You have been absolutely killing it. And if you guys want to put your hand on free rewards, go and support Skratch Gaming. It doesn't cost you nothing. You don't have to download anything. And I'm going to be able to send you guys free rewards. We have some summons, we have some stamina, we have some gold. You just have to click on that support, and I'm going to be able to send you the rewards. Let's dive straight into the dungeon. The Shrine of Storms. This boss is an absolute freaking beast, okay? He does a lot of damage. You want to make sure you're not going to allow him to take a lot of turns. That's the secret, because if he's going to take a lot of turns, he's going to absolutely demolish your team. So, we're going to have one team that uses this kind of like more accessible champions, I would say. Morgana is free, Sarah is not free, Rosier is not free, and then we have, of course, Sergius, who is free. If you play Arena, you're going to be able to get him from the Arena shop. Now, the whole idea with this boss, guys, is that you will require attack gauge decrease. Attack speed decrease can work as well if you have some good units to apply that as a debuff, of course. If not, you can basically just try to decrease the attack gauge with different units. So Morgana will do that with the Fire Relic. We're going to have Sarah for her A1 skill, because that will put, of course, buff disruption and attack gauge disruption. Rosier will deal some damage. You can actually replace her with Bediver if you have Bediver. I'm going to show you that as well. And we have, of course, Sergius with the Fire Relic, which will increase the attack gauge. I'm actually using Morgana and Sergius in all of the 3 teams. Both of them free, guys, okay? So that's very, very important. Let me just quickly start with this one right here. Now, they're not extremely fast farming teams. At least not this one. The one with Bediver that I'm going to show you is going to be much better. I'm going to try to bring Bediver in this one as well to see if by any chance we're going to do it faster than in the other team that I have with Bediver, the one that I'm using, you know. If you have a Fire Merlin, guys, that's going to work wonders in here as well. Then you can actually drop some of the other units, and you can farm it with him as well. But I don't have a Fire Relic for my Merlin, unfortunately. You see, so Sarah dropped in the attack gauge disruption and buff disruption. In terms of skill order settings, that's basically how everything works. You will require Vigor sets. That's basically on every single dungeon. And I'm gonna say it, I'm bored and tired of freaking Vigor sets on every single unit. We need more diversity, not marbles, okay? Because everything revolves around freaking Vigor set. It's boring. We need to get some different options in the game that will basically just make us build the units a bit different, you know, like have some different things going on. At least that's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Basically, we're gonna deal some raw damage with Rosier. She's not really fully built for damage because she does require the hit accuracy. She requires the effect accuracy. Bleed will do some damage. It's kind of like a 50-50, to be honest. Hybrid, right? So we have a lot of bleed on. I do have a maxed chivalry Rosier, right? Which helps quite a bit. So all this bleed helps quite a bit as well. But the raw damage will help too. The other heroes, they don't deal any damage whatsoever. They're not really built for damage. So I can't really count on them to put in big numbers, as you guys can probably notice. Now, the thing with bleed. The boss won't really take many turns, right? So that's something to keep in mind. We want to make sure he's not taking many turns. So that kind of like basically counters the whole idea of bleed. If the boss doesn't take turns, the bleed will not activate, right? So you're very correct on it. But Rosier is just very good with the fire relic, so you can bring her in full damage if you want to on the Vigor set, just to ensure that she's always able to use that A3. The longer you are staying in the fight, the higher the chance for you to fail, basically, okay? Because if you're not dropping the attack gauge, if something goes wrong, you get resisted or anything like that, the boss will instantly smack you. Like, he's not going to take any prisoners whatsoever. So basically, with this strategy, we're basically stacking a lot of burns, bleeds, sorry, not burns. I think I've been calling it burns, but we're talking about bleeding here. And like this, if the boss will take any turn towards the end, the bleed should kill him, the dot damage, right? So even if we are getting resisted at some point, the boss will get wrecked because of it. So it's kind of like a safety net. That's why I picked Rosier. Plus, I just use Rosier in a lot of content. She's absolutely freaking OP. Probably you guys already know that. I don't have to tell you. Very, very strong unit. Self-buff, all the good stuff on her. So definitely a good call, you see. Even though she's not fully built for damage, she still puts in crazy, crazy numbers. So my relic is maxed on her too. But look at the time, 8 minutes. Of course, on 3x, it's not really going to be 8 minutes. It's going to be much faster. Now, if we are dropping a Rosier from here, and we're going to bring in, of course, this bad boy. Let's give it a go like this. This should get the job done as well. Of course, Badiver is absolutely nuts. That's another thing that you guys probably know by now. If you have him, 100% use him. He's just going to make the run faster. Like, he's going to put in some serious, serious numbers. Okay, he's self-buffed. We have Sarah slowly just getting a bit of healing, you see. The damage difference is massive. Now, if I would bring in Rosier, built fully for damage without a Vigor set, I just won't be able to use the A3 as often. I'm probably still going to be faster than counting on bleed. The only thing is that that bleed gives us a safety net if we're going to get resisted at some point on the boss, right? So we already took it under 50% HP, which is beautiful. Look at that. Just bang, bang, another solid hit right there. And this is much faster, I would say. Plus, the animations are faster on Badiver, right? Like, on Rosier are pretty slow. And this time around, we kind of like had bad luck because Badiver was not really hitting the body with the secondary hits. They were going to the legs or arms, sorry, not legs. And because of it, it was a bit slower. Look at that, bang. Now, if we put Badiver in the lead as well, that will speed it up a bit as well because we have a better aura. Half the time with Badiver versus Rosier. So, let's just say that for any reason you don't want to use Sarah. Let's just say that you want to use, maybe you want to use, I don't know, Gillian. So, you can definitely go like this as well. You know, this is another option. I don't necessarily think it's faster, to be honest with you guys. It's pretty much the same like the team that I just showed you with Sarah. So if you don't have Gillian, just use Sarah. Duh. Kind of like a no-brainer. Sarah, she's absolutely amazing. Now, what I would say that with Gillian, you do have a bit of a better safety net because she decreases the attack gauge as well by quite a bit. She gives you more healing. She increases the attack gauge on some of your other heroes. So it is a bit of a better win rate, I would say. Even though, to be honest, even the other one doesn't really have bad win rate or anything like that. But you have more control versus the boss with this team like that. You see, the boss took a turn, buffed. We missed the hit right here. So probably something went wrong. I'm not even sure what went wrong. But the boss definitely took a turn. So if we're going to allow the boss to take another turn, most likely we are going to get absolutely wrecked. So in a way, using Sarah over Gillian might be better because the boss, even if he takes a turn, he won't buff, right? Because if something goes wrong and, for example, Morgana doesn't have the passive available to strip the buffs, you're going to get wrecked if the boss will take a turn with all of the buffs on. because he hits so freaking hard. Like, you guys have absolutely no idea how hard he hits. Okay, so we finally took him under 50%. But to be honest, the previous team with Sarah does work better, in my opinion. And then I'm going to show you one without Bediver. It is, to be honest, slow. Because Tristan won't do so much damage if I'm prioritizing his A1. If I'm going to let him do whatever he wants, it's a very high chance that the team will fail, you know? Okay, we missed the hit. And I have almost 30% hit rate on Bediver, and he's still messing it up. I really need a 6-star bottom piece so I can get a bit more on him. A 6-star hit accuracy. Crazy. I'm just not dropping one. I'm gonna try to forge one, actually. I think I have plenty of materials now. So there we go. How long it took us this run? 6 minutes, you see, so 2 minutes over the other one. And that's because we had a bit of a bad RNG. The boss actually got to self-buff right there. With Sarah, the boss will not be able to buff, so that's one thing to keep in mind. So if you don't have him, you can actually do something like this. I actually haven't tried this team with Sarah, but this team, as you guys can see it right here, will work without a problem. Now, I'm actually going to do something else to see if it's going to work with Sarah instead. So if we're going to bring in Sarah, and we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this because why not? So let's use one of these. Repeat battle. This is a trial here because I haven't tried it with Sarah. With Gillian works, but I would assume it should work with her as well. So I'm actually going to let Tristan do whatever. Should I let him do whatever? Let's see. We're going to try if we let him do whatever. See if that's gonna work. It might not. If it doesn't, we're gonna come back to it, and we're actually gonna prioritize just his A1 skill. Now, I do have him built for damage, but to be honest, not like insane damage or anything like that, right? So let's see. Okay. It might work. It might work like this too, actually. So right here, this is probably one of the best free-to-play squads for this dungeon, right? Sarah is the only hero that you need to acquire. If you are looking to beat stage 10, by now you're gonna have Sarah because you have been playing for quite a while. And to be honest, collecting the rares is pretty easy unless you're like the most unlucky person on Earth, which can be an option. Let's be honest, that can be a thing as well. Okay, boss, you should chill a little bit there because you're looking to move too fast, and I don't like it. Okay, give me that attack gauge. Okay, what is the time? Let's see. 3 minutes. So it's probably gonna be a bit longer than the previous team that we had with Bediver in here. But this is the most budgetish team that I've seen so far for this dungeon. Tristan is free. Sergius is free. Morgana is free. Sarah is the only one that's not free. Now, I do have Chivalry on some of them. Sarah, I think she's max Chivalry for me. But that just gives me basically better stats. Tristan, I think he has Chivalry 2 if I'm not mistaken. Sergius might have Chivalry 1 or no Chivalry. Morgana, she's pretty high on the Chivalry. Bediver as well for me. Oh, we lost the damage dealer. You see, this kind of sucks. This sucks. 100% sucks. And you know why that happened? Because we haven't used the A1 enough with Tristan. So I think what I'm going to do, prioritize A3 and A1 and stop him from using the A2. That should give us more opportunities to use the A1 skill more often and put the decrease attack gauge on the boss. Even like this, it might actually work, to be honest. It's just going to take some time to take the boss down, you see? So even if your damage dealer fails, we have a very high chance to do this, but we're going to be here for another 3 minutes, most likely. Yep. We're definitely going to milk this. We're definitely going to milk this from the boss. But it takes a bit longer. So I think if we are changing the priority on Tristan, if we do A3 as the main priority and then the A1 skill and not allowing him to use the A2 skill, that should make him use the A1 more often to put the decreased attack speed on the boss. So like that, even if we're not dropping the attack gauge enough all of the time, it should keep him at bay with double decreased attack speed so he doesn't take a turn. Or if he takes a turn, he won't deal as much damage because the multipliers on the boss are very similar with Tristan. Damage based on attack speed and attack, right? So the more attack speed he has, the more damage he's going to deal. So we want to make sure we're keeping that decreased so he's not really going to do a lot of damage. My god, this is getting boring right here. I wish I could just speed it up even more. 10 minutes. That's because we lost the damage dealer. If the damage dealer was still alive, this was already done. Already done. Come on. I wish Sergius would attack with his A3 skill as well, because like that you would be able to give him some damage. So when he increases your attack gauge, he could deal some damage on the enemy as well, which could be really, really helpful. Okay, and there we go. Boss. The boss is down, finally. Beautiful. It took us a little while, but hey, we made it happen. So, let me just quickly show you builds, guys, okay? I'm not going to basically go through everything like crazy. I'm just going to show you total stats. Vigor set, that's what we have on her. These are her total stats. So feel free to pause, have a look at every single one of the stats because I won't read it because I do have to show you quite a few different heroes. Chivalry on her is Chivalry 9, as you guys can probably notice right here on the left side. Then we have Sarah, Chivalry 10. Skills more or less maxed on her, yes, on the Relic too. You can see that as well, so feel free to pay attention at each hero, because I don't want to make the video too long, right? I feel like I've already spent a lot of time in the runs. So there we go right here. These are her total stats. Once again, Vigor set, Immortal. Then we have Tristan, crit rate and attack speed. Now, of course, if I'm going to awaken him to 6-star, he's going to farm the boss faster. He's going to deal more damage as well, which is definitely pretty helpful. Chivalry 3 on him. I do have the Relic max by the looks of it, and the skills, the passive, almost. Not there just yet. And these are his total stats right here, as you guys can probably notice. I'm doing it like this so you guys can see everything. Evasion, hit accuracy, literally every single stat. Then we have Sergius. These are his skills, basically. Chivalry 0. I have the Relic maxed because I've invested in it really hard because I am using him in other content too. But the passives are far from being maxed. This is the equipment. These are the total stats right here. High hit accuracy, high effect accuracy, high speed, and basically that's about it. That's my Bediver, attack, crit rate, strife set, maxed relic, and the passives are not maxed just yet. I still have a couple of them. Chivalry 9 on him. And then these are his total stats, as you guys can probably notice right here. Pretty good stats, good crit rate, good crit damage, good attack, good speed. I just need more hit accuracy on him. I want to get him to like 30 plus, you know. Then moving on to the next one. This is my Gillian, Vigor, Immortal set. These are her total stats right here. Decent recovery, good speed. More speed on her would be good. Effect accuracy, very, very important. You don't need a hit accuracy for that. And Chivalry 3, max passives, and the Relic is far from being max because it's not really gonna do much, so I'm not planning to invest in that actually. Then a Rosier right here for you guys. Max skills, max passives, max Relic, max Chivalry, Vigor, and Strife, plus a counterattack set. These are her stats right here. She's pretty slow. I feel like is enough for what we're doing with her. Then moving on to the last hero that we used in these fights, guys, and that is Sarah, if I can see her. All right, have I showed you? I showed you Sarah already, so that's it. Now, I do have a clanmate. I'm not sure exactly what team he's using, but he has a team with Gawain that almost one-shots the boss super, super fast. Now, my Gawain is far from being maxed or anything like that, so I can't really show you that, but once I will be able to show you that, I'm definitely going to make a video so you guys can actually see it. Pretty funky things. But as usual, guys, that was all for the video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.